September 29th, 1930. Wedding day. Dixie Lee was Hollywood's rising star. 19 years old, beautiful, talented, with a brilliant future ahead. Bing Crosby was a singer no one knew yet. That day he made her a promise: "I will make you happy, Dixie. I will protect you. I will be proud of you." 22 years later, in 1952, when Dixie died, none of those promises had been kept. Bing hadn't made her happy. He hadn't protected her. He hadn't been proud of her. Instead, he had destroyed her. And the most painful part, Dixie still loved him. This is Dixie Lee's story. The story of a star Hollywood forgot. The story of a woman who sacrificed everything for love and got nothing in return. And the story of what might have been Bing Crosby's greatest mistake. 1911, Tennessee. When Dixie Lee was born, her name was Wilma Winifred Wyatt. She came from an ordinary family. Her father was a merchant, her mother a housewife. But there was something about Dixie, a talent, a light. She started dancing at age 5, singing at age 8. At age 12, she convinced her family, "Take me to Los Angeles. I want to be an actress." 1929, Dixie was 18 years old. She came to Hollywood. The first months were hard. Auditions against hundreds of girls, rejections. But Dixie didn't give up. Then one day, Fox Studios called. "Miss Wyatt, we'd like to offer you a contract." Dixie Lee had officially become a Hollywood star. Her first film, the Fox movie-tone Follies of 1929. A small role, but Dixie shone on screen. Producers noticed her. "This girl is going to be something," they said. Her second film, Happy Days. A bigger role. Dixie sang, danced, critics praised her. Natural talent, captivating presence. 1930. Dixie Lee was only 19, but already a rising star. Films were lined up. She had fans. Hollywood loved her. And then she met Bing Crosby. In 1930, Bing Crosby was still a nobody. He sang at small clubs in Los Angeles. He was a vocal soloist in the Paul Whiteman Orchestra. He was talented but not famous. Bing was very different from Dixie. Dixie was disciplined, hard-working, ambitious. Bing loved comfort, was lazy, didn't take life seriously. But there was something about Bing, a charm, an allure. When he spoke, people listened. When he sang, hearts melted. May 1930, they met at a studio party. Dixie was talking with Hollywood stars. Bing stood in a corner, alone, drink in hand. Dixie didn't notice him. But Bing had noticed Dixie. A few days later, Bing asked a friend for a favor: "Introduce me to Dixie Lee." The friend was surprised. "Bing, she's much more famous than you. She's out of your league." Bing smiled. "Doesn't matter, just introduce me." And they were introduced. On their first meeting, Dixie wasn't impressed. "Bing is very relaxed," she told her friend. "Very relaxed. Maybe too much." But Bing was persistent. He invited her again, then once more. Dixie finally said yes. Because there was something about Bing, a genuineness, a warmth. And Dixie at 19, fell in love. September 29th, 1930. Bing and Dixie got married. The ceremony was small, just close friends and family. But Dixie was happy. Her eyes were shining. At the wedding ceremony, Bing made her a promise. Not official, just whispered, "I'll make you happy, Dixie. I promise." Dixie believed him. Because she loved him. On their honeymoon, Bing made jokes, sang songs, made Dixie laugh. Everything was perfect. Dixie thought, "This man will be my life." But right after the honeymoon, the first crack appeared. Dixie returned to the studio. She was called for a new film. She asked Bing, "Should I accept?" Bing replied, "Of course, why wouldn't you?" But a few weeks later, when Dixie came home tired from the set, Bing was irritated. "Dixie, where were you until this hour?" "I was working on the film, you know that," Bing said quietly. "Maybe you shouldn't work anymore." Dixie was surprised. "What? Why?" "Because you're married now. You're my wife, and a Crosby wife doesn't work." Dixie laughed. "Bing, you're joking, right?" Bing wasn't joking. 1931, Dixie was still working, but Bing wasn't happy. Every film, every rehearsal, every shoot, Bing became a bit more tense. "Dixie, I can't see you at home. Dixie, you come home tired. Dixie, this isn't good for us." Dixie was confused, because she loved her career, but she also loved Bing, and she couldn't do both. 1932, Dixie got pregnant. When their first son Gary was born, Dixie had to make a decision: career or family. Bing decided for her. "You won't work anymore. You'll take care of the children." Dixie resisted. "Bing, I love working. The studio wants me. No, Dixie. Choose, either me or your career. Dixie cried. But in the end, she gave up her career, because she didn't want to lose Bing. 1933. Dixie Lee's last film was released. She was 22 years old. Her career had just begun, but she ended it, and Hollywood forgot her. The years 1933-1940 were a nightmare for Dixie. At home, with 4 children, alone. Gary was born in 1933. Twin sons Dennis and Philip in 1934. Lindsay in 1938. 4 boys, and Dixie dealt with them alone. Bing was always working. Radio shows, film shoots, concerts. He rarely appeared at home. Once a week, maybe twice. And even those days, he barely engaged with the children. Dixie was lonely. In her mid-20s, with 4 children, in a big house, all alone, she complained to her friends. Bing is never home. He doesn't even see the children. Her friends gave advice. Dixie, talk to him. Dixie talked. Bing replied, Dixie, I'm earning money. I'm supporting the family. You stay home and take care of the children. That's our agreement. But Bing, I'm lonely. You're not lonely. You have the children. Dixie cried. But Bing didn't listen. Because in Bing's world, a woman's place was at home, and Dixie had to obey that place. 1940. Dixie had a drink for the first time. A small vodka. For stress. For loneliness. 1 bottle became 2. Then 3. 1942. Her friends started noticing. Dixie, are you drinking? Dixie denied it. No, just a glass sometimes. But it was a lie. Dixie was drinking every day now, even in the mornings. Because alcohol calmed her, made her forget the loneliness, eased the pain. When Bing noticed, it was too late. 1945. One evening Bing came home. Dixie on the couch, passed out, an empty bottle on the floor. Bing woke her up. Dixie, what are you doing? Dixie was drunk. What am I doing? I'm trying to survive, Bing. When you're not here, I'm here alone with 4 children. Bing cut her off. Dixie, pull yourself together. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. The life I've been living for 12 years is unacceptable, Bing. Bing went silent. He didn't know what to say. Then he said, see a doctor. Get treatment. But Dixie didn't get treatment. Because the problem wasn't alcohol. The problem was Bing. The problem was loneliness. The problem was a lost career. And Dixie sank a little deeper every day. 1945, 1950 were Dixie's worst years. The alcoholism was out of control. She drank in the morning, drank at noon, passed out at night. The children started to get scared. Gary, the eldest son, was 12 years old. One day he found his mother on the floor, unconscious. He called an ambulance. Dixie was taken to the hospital. Her stomach was pumped. Doctors warned Bing, Miss Crosby, your wife is an alcoholic. She needs serious treatment. Bing replied, I understand. What should I do? You need to admit her to a rehabilitation center. Long-term treatment. Bing thought. Then replied, no, we can't do that. If the press finds out, this would be a scandal. The doctor was shocked. Mr. Crosby, your wife's life is in danger. I know, but we'll handle this another way. And Dixie didn't get treatment, because Bing denied Dixie treatment to protect his image. Instead, he locked Dixie in the house. No one would see. The press wouldn't find out. There would be no headlines reading Bing Crosby's wife is an alcoholic, and Dixie, alone, silently, continued to fade away. 1951. Dixie pulled herself together for a brief period. She tried to quit alcohol. She stayed sober for a few months. Bing didn't even notice, because Bing still wasn't home. One day Dixie gathered courage. She told Bing, Bing, I need to talk to you. Yes, Dixie, what is it? I'm not happy. We've been married for 21 years, but I'm unhappy. Bing became uncomfortable. Dixie, what are you talking about? I'm talking about my career, my dreams. I was going to be a star, Bing. But you locked me in the house. Bing stiffened. I didn't lock you up. You became a mother. You have 4 children. That's your job. But I wanted more. Bing stood up. Dixie, we had this argument 20 years ago. It's too late now. This is your life. Accept it. And Bing left the room. Dixie sat there, alone, and cried. That night, Dixie drank again, and never stopped. Early 1952, Dixie started complaining of stomach pain. At first she ignored it, but the pain kept increasing. May 1952, she went to the doctor, was examined. Result, ovarian cancer, advanced stage. When the doctor told Dixie, she didn't cry. She just asked, how long do I have? With treatment, maybe a year. Dixie nodded. No treatment. Don't tell Bing about this. The doctor was surprised. But Mrs. Crosby, no, don't tell him. I'll tell him. But Dixie never told him, because she knew Bing wouldn't care. For several months she suffered silently. The pain increased. She lost weight. The children started noticing. "Mom, are you okay?" "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just a little tired." But she wasn't fine. She was dying. October 1952, Dixie could no longer walk. She was admitted to the hospital. Doctors called Bing. "Mr. Crosby, your wife is very bad. You need to be prepared." Bing came to the hospital, entered Dixie's room. Dixie was lying in bed. She was 40 years old but looked 60, thin, pale, exhausted. Dixie opened her eyes, saw Bing, tried to smile. "Bing, you came." "Yes, Dixie, I'm here." Dixie reached out her hand. Bing held it. For the first time in years their hands joined. Dixie whispered, "Bing, I always loved you. Did you know?" Bing couldn't answer. His throat tightened. Dixie continued, "But you never loved me, did you?" Bing remained silent, because he didn't know what to say. Dixie smiled, a sad smile. "It's okay. It doesn't matter anymore." That night, Dixie had surgery. One last attempt, but it was too late. November 1st, 1952, 5:47 a.m. Dixie Lee Crosby died. She was 40 years old. Bing was sitting in the corridor. The doctor came. "Mr. Crosby, I'm sorry. We lost your wife." Bing nodded. "Thank you." He stood up, left the hospital, got in his car, and there, alone, he cried for the first time, but no one saw. November 3, 1952, Dixie Lee's funeral. The church was full. Hollywood stars, old friends, family. Everyone had loved Dixie. The four sons sat in the front row. Gary, 19, Dennis and Philip, 18, Lindsay, 14 years old. All were crying. Bing sat beside them, but he wasn't crying. His face was stone, his eyes empty. The priest spoke. Dixie Lee was a beautiful person, a good mother, a loving woman. People cried, but Bing was silent. When the funeral ended, people offered Bing their condolences. Bing politely thanked them. "You're very kind," but he felt nothing inside, because Bing had shut down his emotions, had shut them down for years. At the cemetery, the casket was lowered into the ground. The children cried. Bing watched silently. When the ceremony ended, everyone slowly left. Bing left last, looked at the grave one more time, and whispered quietly, "I'm sorry, Dixie." But it was too late. Dixie couldn't hear anymore. After Dixie's death, the truth slowly began to emerge. Her friends spoke about the alcoholism, the loneliness, the unhappiness. The press asked questions. "Mr. Crosby, would you like to say anything about your wife's alcoholism?" Bing denied it. "My wife was ill, a sad situation, but it's in the past now." But her friends said other things. One friend spoke to a journalist. Dixie was unhappy. Bing forced her to be a housewife, took away her career, and Dixie suffered for years. Hollywood started whispering. Bing Crosby wasn't a good husband, but Bing didn't care, because he had already moved on to another life. In 1957, he remarried to Katharine Grant, and this time it was different, because Bing had aged, softened, but Dixie never saw that softness. Today when you hear the name Dixie Lee, you probably remember nothing, because Hollywood forgot her. She's known as Bing Crosby's first wife. That's all. But Dixie Lee was once a star. At 19, bright, talented, a promising star. Then she fell in love. And for love she sacrificed everything. Her career, her dreams, her happiness. What did she get in return? Loneliness, neglect, alcoholism, and an early death. When Bing Crosby died in 1977, the world mourned. America's sweetheart was gone. But no one asked, what happened to Dixie Lee? Because Dixie had been forgotten long ago. In 1930, on their wedding day, Bing had promised Dixie, "I will make you happy," but he didn't make her happy. Dixie's life got progressively worse from that day on. For 22 years, she lived as a lonely, unhappy alcoholic woman, and when she died at 40, Bing didn't even cry. Maybe Bing never loved her. Maybe he only saw her as a wife, an accessory. Bing Crosby's wife. But Dixie truly loved him, and that love destroyed her. Dixie Lee was going to be a star, but she sacrificed everything for love. In return, she got only one thing: to be forgotten,